Hello and welcome to Jerry's Corner's Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own pickled onions. Now, why make your own, you say? I'll tell you why. Because they're better. And you get the satisfaction of opening that jar the day after Christmas with your cold meat and pickles, and you know, I've made these. Now, let's get the ingredients out and you'll see how easy it is as long as you follow some fairly basic steps. Right, let's crack on. So here's our first batch of ingredients for our pickled onions. I have 1.2 kilos of pickling shallots. Now you could use a small pickling onion or pickling shallots. It makes no difference really, the choice is yours. Now I use 1.2 kilos because that will give me about a kilo of peeled pickled onions. I then have a very good malt pickling vinegar. I need 1.2 litres for my pickled onions. And then I have 225 grams of salt. Because when I've peeled the onions, I'm going to put them straight into a brine and leave them in the brine for 24 hours. This might sound like a bit of a faff, but it's so worth doing and makes the onions so much more crispy and so much more crunchy. Right, let me show you the next batch of ingredients. So here's our ingredients that we're going to put into our vinegar. We have 200 grams of sugar, because this is a sweet and spiced pickled onion. It will be delicious, I promise you. So 200 grams of sugar, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, 2 teaspoons of black peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of a brown or black mustard seed, 1 teaspoon of whole allspice berries, 1 teaspoon of crushed dried chillies. Now this is optional, but I just like a little bit of heat with my onions, and 1 bay leaf. So here we have our saucepan with 1.2 litres of malt vinegar in. We then put into that 200 grams of sugar, black peppercorns, coriander seed, allspice berries, mustard seed, crushed chillies, and our bay leaf. Give that a good little whisk. Now it's important we use a stainless steel pan. You do not want to have vinegar sat in an aluminium pan overnight. It just isn't good. So it needs to be a stainless steel pan. So now we'll put this onto the heat and we'll bring it up to a bare simmer and turn it off straight away. We then leave it till tomorrow when we will put it over our pickled onions. Right, I'm going to put this on the stove. So to make our brine, you need a suitable container. This is a casserole dish. You could use a glass bowl, or again you could use a stainless steel saucepan. But it needs to be big enough to put all the onions in and the brining solution. So to make the brine, we put our 225 grams of salt into our dish. We're then going to add 300 mils of boiling water. This goes in and we give it a real good stir. Most of the salt will dissolve at this stage, but not all of it. And next we add a further 1.2 litres of cold water. And we now give this a stir. Right, that's our brining solution ready for our pickled onions. Now I'll show you how I peel my pickled onions. We'll put this to one side. Right, so now we come to the wonderful part of peeling our pickled onions. Now the easiest way I find is to put the pickled onions into a glass bowl and to cover them with boiling water. This will help to soften the skins and make it so much easier to peel them. But remember, that is boiling water. So you want to cut the onion as close to the top and as close to the bottom as possible, and then peel a single layer of the onion off, and into the brine they go. and on to the next one. If the onion skin looks tough, then remove the outer layer of the onion. The pickling process won't make a tough skin any nicer, and you don't want a tough outer to your pickled onion, do you? And in they go. Right, I'm going to crack on and peel all of these. So that's all the onions peeled and in their brine, and the vinegar brought up to a bare simmer and taken off the heat. So what we do now, we'll put a lid on that and we'll leave that till tomorrow. And I put a plate on the top of my onions just to make sure that they're fully submerged in the brine, and we'll leave that until tomorrow. Right, we'll come back to this tomorrow, shall we? So our vinegar has had 24 hours for the flavour to infuse. Our onions have been brined. I've taken them out of the brine. I've rinsed them really well. I've strained them off, and now I've dried them off with kitchen paper on the top and on the bottom to make sure the onions are lovely and dry. Right, we're now ready to put them in their jars. So to sterilise my jars, I put them into an oven at 100 degrees, and I just leave them in there for 5 to 10 minutes. Right, we can now start to pack our onions into our jars. And there we go, nicely packed into our jars. Don't have them too high up because you want them to be totally covered in vinegar. Right, now I'm going to put in my vinegar. I use a jam funnel, looks like this, just to make it easier. We want to share the spices as evenly as we can between the two jars. I'm going to put the bay leaf in. And there we go. Don't they look handsome? Right, we'll put the lids on. Now, these go into a dark, cool place. Mine go under the stairs. And we're going to leave them there for between 4 to 6 weeks to really pickle. But in a few days, I'm going to have a little look and see if the vinegar level has dropped. And if it has, I'll just top it up. Right, that's our onions made. So there we have it. Homemade pickled onions. They'll be ready just in time for Christmas. They're sweet. They're spiced, a little bit of heat from the chilli. Wow, they're going to be so good. Nice with a bit of cold meat, nice with some cheese. Ploughman's lunch. Ooh. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Jerry's Corners Kitchen. And if you have, subscribe to my channel, press the like button, and please leave a comment. And I'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye now.